Hey everyone, it's Monday, and we just finished up with a great keynote session. We've had another great morning of sessions here this
They
at
all,
the
they
Nice
all
Gate
blend with
Conference.
each other, right?
With me is David Jakes, who I've been following quite some time. And actually, David, you were a keynote speaker a few years ago, and you said you've been here twice. And last time I saw you, you were talking about designing spaces, and this was probably 2-3 years ago, maybe.
Right.
And you're still working on changing the spaces for education. Can you tell us your greatest updates?
I had an opportunity to go beyond education and step away for a bit, work with Canon Design and Third Teacher Plus, which is a design consultancy and a big architecture firm that focuses on K-12 and higher ed spaces. An opportunity to learn a lot about design and about how to craft spaces that were compelling places for learning. So, based on my 27-year foundation in education as a teacher and administrator, coupled with some professional design experience now, I've stepped into my own practice and helping schools design their own new spaces for learning. So it's been a lot of fun, and I continue to learn a lot, and it's a great opportunity to help schools change and improve in ways that are really important for the future learning.
From what I remember of your past presentation, you talked about how Google had done things differently in business. They changed the design of how business works, I think. And I think to promote creativity and innovation, is that kind of the genesis for your work with schools? I mean, is that where kids are going to be working? Should be.
Well, there's a lot of ways and a lot of things that can influence the direction of how spaces are designed. Google certainly has had an influence. We all know what their workspaces look like. And there's a wide variety of different kinds of spaces where people work in. The bottom line is that a lot of the spaces, you don't see anybody working in rows and steel frame desks anywhere. So the kinds of spaces that are found in schools, we still have a lot of very traditional older kinds of spaces in schools. You don't see them anywhere else. And in a lot of ways, the kinds of things that we want kids, the dispositions in schools we want them to build and develop, are dependent upon having a different kind of space to learn and grow in. So, there's a lot of different, my influences in terms of spatial design come from my work with Canon Design for the teacher, come from the workplace strategy, looking at things that are happening outside of the schools. And I think there's a lot to learn from engaging and visiting different locations. I think, for example, it's interesting to go to co-working spaces. It's interesting to go to maker spaces. It's interesting to go to startup spaces and incubator hubs. All these kinds of things can inform and suggest a different direction for spaces within schools that can create a different kind of experience. So, we're not short on any kind of models in terms of what space can be, but ultimately it comes down to is what do you want the student experience to be? And spaces are created to support that. It's not going out and really mimicking Google or anything like that, but it's very conscious and thought-provoking deep dive into what do you want kids to experience while they're in school, and then that's used as a way to develop drivers for spatial design.
I think one of the questions, if you're looking at this from, I come from an area of very small schools, tight budgets. How do we make that transition to making more creative spaces, but also be considerate of a budget and schools that don't bend easily?
Yeah, there's a couple questions in there. First of all, let's talk about the budget. Because space change is expensive. If you're going to redesign or rethink just the furniture in classrooms, that can be anywhere from a $15,000 to $25,000 fee per classroom. So you're talking at scale, that's some big money. And the question is are there things that can be done to rethink classroom spaces that are affordable and doable and achievable? And the answer to that is yes. I would point anybody listening to this to the remake videos that the Third Teacher did with Entropia, where the Third Teacher went in and the Third Teacher Plus went in and redesigned a math classroom for $1,000 over the weekend. And so you start to look at how can we do things with color? How can we do things with decluttering walls? How can we rethink the teacher location? Can we take out the teacher desk, putting some different kinds of elements that give kids different options for learning. What are our writable surfaces in our classrooms? So, there are strategies to hack and get into your classroom spaces that can make a difference for kids. That don't cost a fortune. All you got to do is go to Google and type in hack classroom strategies. You'll get all you want. There's some good things that you can do. The other thing is that if you're interested in understanding more about spaces, is that take a common space like a library or some other kind of classroom, somewhere that everybody has access to, and then change that. So even if you're landlocked, or if you can't do things at scale with all your classrooms, teachers at least have one space that they can move and take kids to that provide a different kind of experience for kids. Give teachers an understanding of how more agile, flexible kinds of dimensions that are added with furniture things can be explored with the need for classrooms. So, there are things that can be done. The other thing is you mentioned, how do everybody knows what a classroom looks like, right? So there is organizational resistance in a lot of places to changing spaces. So how do you work with the organization to help them rethink how they think about spaces? The third teacher of the group I work with, that title is borrowed from a regular media group that space along with adults and peers are through teachers and children. So if you believe that space has a dramatic or really important influence on learning itself, how does the space communicate to learners the intent of the experience? How is the space consciously designed so that it contributes to the experience that learners have while they're in that space? When you walk through the door and you walk through that threshold, how does the space communicate about its expectations for learning? So there's lots of design elements to go in, and lots of different ways to think about how to redesign spaces to make a different kind of impact for learning. But again, let me ask you this: what happens when you shift from I said classroom? Nobody knows what it looks like. Right? If I were to ask you a studio, you would shift the language of how we describe spaces.
So we'd like to do it again.
A studio. A simple name change. What does that engender in terms of kind of activities and creates and activities that kids engage in while they're in such a space? So we have lots of ways to think about what we do with spaces, and we've got a lot of room to grow, certainly.
Last question. I remember seeing a presentation by Philip Rosedale, who created Second Life, and he had talked about the research showing that when people can get engaged in a different space, even if it's a digital recreation, it starts firing up the brain waves, and it shows just increased learning. And he even mentioned that being in a conference increases your learning because you're in a different space, you're seeing a new environment, you've got architecture around you that's interesting. It just starts firing the brain. Is there research along where you've been going with your design spaces that show increased attention?
Well, I think it's interesting, because when you're talking about evaluating spaces, it's a lot like evaluating technology. How do we know what element or what amount of change we see in learners and behaviors and performance is due to any one single positive mechanism? So evaluating the role of spaces and how they impact student learning can be a challenge. But I think one of the things that you mentioned about different kinds of environments and digital spaces. I think a growing vision of where spaces can occur. You've got physical spaces and you've got digital spaces, right? So those two kinds of locations, certainly with one-to-one technologies, the concept of what kids learn is much broader and expansive now if we are looking at digital experiences. I like to nod to Second Life because I think there's an opportunity to have in a physical space a digital experience that could be sort of classified as a virtual experience. I'm still trying to figure out what that means actually, but I think a virtual experience is something where you're in a physical space but you have interaction with technology. It creates a different kind of way to interact in that physical space. So the more dimensions you add, the more locations that you can add into learning, I think is exactly what you said. It gives kids the opportunity to refresh and to be engaged by the space itself, as opposed to sitting in a steel frame desk in a row for 6 hours a day. So, I think with that in mind, I think there's a lot of opportunity to actually look at engagement. And I'm talking about intellectual engagement here and how spatial change can support changes in the intellectual engagement. Because that's something we can measure. That's something that teachers understand. You can see it, you can measure our techniques there. And if you're a kid, would you be willing to go with the intuitive jump that kids are more intellectually engaged and learning will be increased? So I'm not going to try to measure that endpoint about learning and what it means, but I'm going to look specifically at something I can indeed see and measure. That is, how do my spatial changes support changes in increased intellectual engagement? I think that's a really intriguing, interesting question. There's lots of research that suggests that we all know that the more engaged they are, the better kids will do. So I think that's the way I would go in terms of answering the question and looking those two ideas, spatial change and engagement, as a predictor of increased student performance.
It's time for the speed geek questions. So these are just short answers, somewhat whimsical.
All right.
You get 3 of them, so hit the green button.
Are you kidding me? Are you serious? That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's see. Favorite EdTech blog, I think, is coming up.
Favorite EdTech blog. Does mine count?
Sure.
No, I like reading Chris Lehman, Practical Theory. I like reading Will Richardson, but the things that kind of push me are I'm looking more towards outside of education now, or trying to think of the names of different places. But I have a tendency now to spend more time in the design world and going beyond education. I think it's a real healthy kind of experience for people. The education blogs, I read a lot of the same stuff over and over again. You just jump into higher ed and things that are outside education get pushed a little bit out. I love reading John Seeley Brown and John Hagel and the Love Center, the Center for the Edge, their stuff. I think that really pushes me. So that's where I look now.
Okay, 2 more.
Number 2.
Gryffindor or Slytherin?
What the heck is that?
Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm not a Harry Potter person, so I got to spin again. First computer was a Mac Classic, $1,600, 2 megs of RAM, 40 meg hard drive. Changed my trajectory of where I went as a teacher and as an educator, because it opened up all the possibilities in a different way. I remember typing all worksheets with all 7 credits intending the purpose if I could. But that was the catalyst that redirected me into where I wanted to.
Awesome. Let's speed this up. This one actually is World of Warcraft or Angry Birds. Are you a gamer at all? And if you are,
I'm not a gamer at all, but the interesting approach. I mean, we're talking about games, we're talking about play, we're talking about different kinds of dimensions for learning. We have to find in education ways to build in these kind of elements. More importantly, we need to help kids be creators, and so they can contribute their ideas into the production of things like this. So, I'm out of education now specifically, but so I don't get to see the gaming and all this stuff take role in school, but it's such a dramatic influence. I'm wondering how we can capture the energy and excitement and that excitement of kids in terms of gameplay and how might gamify education.
Great. Well, David, thank you. I remember your speech from a couple years ago, and that's
I'm glad you asked one. Somebody did.
You can ask my boss, because I've always talked to her about how we need to rearrange professional development spaces as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. So and that's not just kids, right? It's professional learning. So how do we create spaces for teaching for educators?
Yeah. Well, and thank you. Your work is inspiring, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.